Hello, everybody. Um, Today I'm going to be going over a very simple tutorial on how to draw faces. I know faces aren't the easiest to draw for everybody, but on this project I'm just going to ask for a good effort from everybody. Um, and as long as I can see that you're putting a decent amount of effort into this, and all of your facial proportions are pretty close to where they need to be, and I can see the effort behind it, then you're going to be okay. I just wanted to give that disclaimer before I get started because I know some people tend to panic about faces, and yes, they can be difficult, but everyone's still learning, including me. I still struggle with drawing faces sometimes, so you're in good company. But we're going to go ahead and jump right in. All you'll need for today's lesson is a piece of paper, a pencil. You can use a regular pencil or a mechanical pencil. And then I have a handheld eraser. If your pencil has an eraser, then that should be okay. All right. So what you're going to start off with is a very simple circle. So you're just going to try to freehand a circle the best you can. Sometimes I get lucky on the first try. That looks like a pretty good circle to me. If you didn't get it on the first try, you can kind of go back over it, just kind of keeping things loose. You don't want to tighten up too much and make anything too dark because a lot of these lines we won't keep. Then I like to go in here and add a big plus sign to that circle. You want each of these to be as even as possible. If you watched the video that I uploaded yesterday, then some of this might sound familiar. You want the chin down here to be the same length as from here to here, as I demonstrated here. And I think in the video it did show that you can measure with your pencil. So like for instance, me, I'm right here. You can pull it down and say, okay, I need to be about right there. And then draw where you think your chin would fall. I'm going to draw a girl just because I'm a girl. The reason I let you guys watch that video yesterday is so you guys can see the difference between drawing boys and girls, and see that there are some differences between, head shapes and different facial features. All right. That's still a little uneven on my part. Again, it's hard to draw faces. It really is. Getting everything even takes time. I may not sit here today and wiggle this around too much just because I want to get on with the lesson. But you can sit here for longer than I am and make sure that you get a head shape that you're at least semi-happy with. And that looks good enough for me to keep going. So I'm going to go ahead and come back in here and erase these lines. And that's why it's so important with this that you draw lightly, because so many of these lines that we're making we're not even going to keep. My head shape I might even change by the end of this. I may not even keep this head shape. So at this point, I'm going to come through here and draw a line right down the middle of that face shape that I just made through the whole thing. And as you can see, like it's not perfectly straight. It's okay, not a big deal. And then you're going to kind of guesstimate where halfway through the head would be. Mine would be somewhere in here. I do see a lot of people mess up with this line. That's where your eyes are going to go. I'll write eyes out here. Way too many people put it way up here, and that's because we associate our eyes with being towards the top of our head. People kind of subconsciously want to put it more towards the top here. But really your eyes are in the middle of your head. So go ahead and split that, and your hair along with your forehead will take up the room up here. So don't worry that there's a lot of space up here right now because it will be filled with hair and other things. If you're not sure if you got it right, you can always turn it on its side like this for a different perspective. And like I can see that I can maybe move mine up a little bit about right there. And that just kind of gives you a different perspective to see if you've actually put it in the middle. You can even get a ruler out and measure if you want to. Your next line will be your nose line, where your nose is going to go. That's going to be halfway in between your eye line and the chin. So mine will fall about right in here. Somewhere in there. Now the lips, I've heard different things. Some people say, it's a third of the way down from the nose line. Other people say a half. I'm going to do a third, just because that's what I like to do. If you want to make it half, you can do that as well. But I tend to think that a third works best for me. And then that's what you're left with. So that's just kind of the bare bones, just to let us know where everything should be placed at. So this is where your nose is going to go. And then this is where your lips are going to go. All right, at this point, what we can do is we can start measuring out where our eyes need to go. So how I like to do this is I like to come through here and draw 1/2 almond shape right there, half of an eye shape, and then I try to fit 5 of the same length and size across the face. So for instance, I can tell this one's smaller than this one, so that means I've made this one too big. So I need to go back, and most of the time I don't get this right on the first try, so don't be too discouraged if you don't get it right on the first try either. So I'm going to make this eye a little bit smaller, somewhere in there, and then I can kind of fit the others in here. A lot of times, let me see if I can get another piece of paper to show you what people do. A lot of times, I'll see people, I'm going to show you the wrong way on here. People will get their head shape going. It'll look pretty good. They'll do this. And then they'll even get their eye line in the right place. So it'll be in the middle of the head. But they'll make their eyes really uneven. So maybe they'll have like one really big one here, and then the other ones are super small, or one of them's maybe halfway right here instead of a full shape. That really defeats the purpose of doing this. The whole purpose of doing this is to make sure that your eyes are in the right place and that they're the correct size. So we're really only making 5 because the average person can fit 5 eyes across the width of their head. And this is just to make sure that they're the right size. This isn't really part of the picture. So I feel like some people kind of rush through this part because they don't really understand what it's for. But if you're looking at it and it's not all the same size, then that should tell you that you need to do some wiggling with your pencil and kind of go back and redo that until they're all the same size. That way you know that your eyes are going to be in the right place and they're not too big or too small. So after this point, you can go ahead and erase the eyes you don't need. So I don't need this middle one. And I don't need this one out here. And I don't need this one out here. So I'm just left with these. And they do look kind of funny right now. So I've got my 2 top parts of my eye. And at this point, you can go ahead and make the bottom part of the eye. You don't have to do anything too crazy for this. For this, I'm not really grading on how much detail you put. I will show you some basic details I would like to see on your eyes, but you don't have to get crazy detailed on this. The main thing I'm grading on is just that everything looks proportionate and that it's in the right place. So here's my eyes. I would like to see some full circles. There we go. That's a little brighter. I would like to see some full circles in here. So circle, circle. Try to refrain from only doing like a part of a circle like this. I see a lot of people do that when they're drawing the inner part of the eye. That's going to make you look a little more tired than I would like to see. Try to get them in the middle better than I did. I can already see on my paper that my eyes aren't even. Again, I'm trying to go quickly here, so not my best work. But in the middle of your iris, you can do a pupil. That's the black part of your eye. And you can color that in. I like to leave a little glare within that pupil. Like that. And I know I'm drawing pretty small today. I do think that sometimes drawing smaller can help you grasp concepts a little bit quicker. So don't be too scared to draw smaller. But if you do like to draw big, feel free to do so. I'm going to add an eyelid like that. And then because I'm making a girl, I'm going to add some eyelashes. Boys, you have eyelashes too. Feel free to add some eyelashes like that. And then I like to come up here now and make the eyebrows. Keep your eyebrows pretty close to your eye. And you just basically want to go with the basic curve. So I go up and then down, and then usually I'll do that line on both. Like that. I'll kind of look at that, and that looks even enough to me. And then I'll kind of go in and fill in that shape again on the top. Eyebrows are pretty tough to draw sometimes, so don't be too discouraged if you don't get it right on the first try. I can even tell that mine are uneven right there, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and shade those in a little bit. You can go ahead and add those individual hairs in there if you would like. Most of the time I erase these lines that I made, and I'll just go in and add the hair detail. That way they look a little more natural and not so much like a drawn shape. But for right now, that looks okay. And then you can shade in your eyelid if you want. I like to do that. Shade in your eyelid. You can kind of add some little lines inside of your iris. You can add your cornea. That's where your tears come from. Usually there's like another little outer edge of the eye. All these details, they just kind of add to your drawing a little bit. And I can see that my eyes are uneven. Again, not everyone's is perfect. I'm drawing pretty quickly, so I don't really have a lot of time to go back and really make this perfect. So what you're going to do now is we want to make sure we line up our nose correctly. So I'm going to draw 2 lines coming down from the inner corners of my eye. Your nostrils are going to hit these lines. So what I like to do is parentheses. I like to think of them as parentheses. This is just an easy nose. If you know another way to draw a nose that you like, that's fine. But people do tend to struggle in my class with the nose, so I like to teach just a super easy nose. And you can do that best by making parentheses that hit those lines we just drew. And then you draw like a curved line, kind of like you're drawing a happy face or a smiley face. And then I tell everybody you can make some like little nostrils. And you can either connect your nostrils or leave them open like that. At this point, you can go ahead and erase those lines that you made. And then I like to tell people just to kind of look at the nose, and you can keep it like that. You can add, a little bit more at the top if you want a little bit more of a pronounced nose. You can even add some lines up here, if you want to make the bridge more defined, you can kind of come in here and, add more to the bridge. I tend to like a pretty simple nose, so I keep mine like this. But if you would like to make your nose bigger, you may. That's really bothering me that my eyes are not even, but that's okay. This eyeball is looking a little scary right now, but that's fine. I keep telling myself it's fine. So what you're going to do at this point is draw 2 lines coming down from the very middle of your pupils, so the middle of your eyeballs. And that's where the corners of the lips are supposed to be. Now, for some people, they might be wider, and for some people, they might be shorter than that. But that's just the average person. And you can look in the mirror and check for yourself if you want to draw yourself and see where do your lips fall in comparison to your pupils. But the average persons will line up with about the middle of their eye. Now, the reason I like the thirds method rather than the half, if you halved this line, if you pulled this a little bit further down, the lips will go on top of that line. But if you did a third, like I did, which is what I like to do, the top lip will go up here. And the bottom lip will go beneath it. So you're going to kind of sandwich that line with the lips. Okay, so there's the top lip. And you can kind of come in here and make the middle part. And then you can make your bottom lip. The bottom lip, you don't necessarily have to draw all the way if you don't want to. Now, if you don't like the mouth that wide, like that one looks pretty big to me, You can make it a little bit shorter than those lines. And if you don't want to draw your full bottom lip, you don't have to. And then I usually shade in the top lip because a shadow does cast on your top lip. You can add a Cupid's bow if you want to. That's that part above your lip that kind of dips in right there. You can kind of add that. I like to add a little divot for the chin sometimes. And that's looking pretty good to me. So at this point, I like to come in here and I like to kind of have a fresh look at my face now that I've got all the features in here. So it kind of helps me to kind of look at it without all these lines. Hopefully you have a better eraser than I do. So I'm going to come through here and kind of erase what I don't need anymore. Like that. So now all I'm left with is the face. And now what I'll usually like to do is I kind of like to tweak my face shape. So for instance, I think I would like her face over here to be a little more defined. So I might come through here and just do some tweaking. Really trying to just define the shape a little better. And like I can see it's not even over here. You can go back and tweak. But just do the best you can. Again, faces are not the easiest. So I would just wiggle it around until you're happy with it. So that looks okay to me. That looks better than it did. If you would like to add some cheekbones, you can. If you add cheekbones, I usually like to go back like this and erase this part and kind of push it inward a little bit. You can shade some. You can shade on the edge of the nose. So basic shading. So now you're going to add the neck. The neck will line up with the outside corners of the eye. So I'm going to just come down, draw the neck. And you can add like a little neckline if you'd like to. And then she's looking pretty scary right now. We're going to add ears and hope that helps. So ears go in between the nose and the eyes. So, and again, you can look in the mirror and check all this for yourself. Your ears might be a little higher, they might be a little lower. So there's that. Hair will sit on top of this, so it will go above this a little bit. I usually just do some bangs, some simple bangs through here. You know, maybe she has like some long hair. You can have some pieces coming in front of the face. And for the hair, I don't really worry too much about like individual strands. I'm worried more about overall shape. So just trying to make like a big shape rather than worrying too much about doing individual little hairs. And at this point, I like to come up here and erase this line because I don't need it anymore. That way her hair looks a little more on top of her head. I'm going to come and define a few things, add some earrings maybe, you know, add whatever you want, necklace. And yeah, that's a very, very, very basic shape. You can come in here and add some shading under the neck since your head does cast a shadow. And that's just a very basic head for you guys. What I want you to do, you can look in Schoology for directions on what I want you to do for this project. Again, try your best. I know heads are not the easiest. I even can look at this right now and tell that mine is not perfect. So that's okay. Just try your best. Have fun and submit it when you're done. If you submit it late, just send me an email. That way I know when to go in and grade it, because Schoology does not let me know when stuff has been graded late. So make sure you email me. All right, so let me know, and I hope you have fun with it.